we'll start today. I was going to do this top bit, so not the bogey or not the underframe. I mean, it's easy enough done. It's just going to take another meeting or something to get that done. But we'll just do the top bit. So it will be 4 panels, so side and after back. So you've got your 4 corners and 2 doors. And we'll do the doors so that they're separate, or you can print them in place, or you can have them opening. So give a bit of option there. I mean, that's for another time, but we can make something like that. Easy enough. Buffers, half a wagon. So, right, we'll do this bit to start with. So what we need, I'll put this here as a rough guide. It has been pulled and pushed around, so the dimensions are not great. Now, I am working in meters. So 1 meter equals 1 millimeter. No ifs, buts or anything. 20 meters equals 20 millimeters. Right, this one is, we'll give it 2 millimeters wide. What's too wide? We won't even say 2 by 16. First thing we want to do, draw a square. And we want it 16 wide, 16, 2, enter, and that'll be the equivalent to this top bit here. We'll right click and we'll reverse that face so the front face is facing out, and then we'll push pull, and I can push pull up to there that says 25.56, so we'll give it 25, enter. So that's the start of our outside wall. I will set up a couple of grid lines here. I want to know how wide's that. That's about 2 mil from the left edge in. So 2. Top bits, that's about 1.5. I think that's, give it the same on the bottom, 1.5, and that's 1. So we'll come down on the blue axis. If it's not going on the blue axis, like there on the green or that, just press the up arrow. And we'll come down 1.5 mil, and same at the bottom. We'll bring it up on the blue as a 1.5, and then we'll come in from this edge as 1 mil, 1, enter, and then that's the sort of square we want to take out the middle. So first thing we do, we'll draw a square that matches up with that. So we've got the thickness of the wall, and we've got a square to put our wood panelling in. We click on the wood, the square in the middle, and we'll push it back. Now, I know for a fact my wood panelling is 0.4 thick. So if we go back 0.4, 0.8, we'll push this back 0.8. So we'll have our wood panelling on the top and a bit of a gap, bit of a frame around it. And one thing to do, we click on that front face and we'll do a control along, move control along the red axis just to duplicate it for our wood panelling. So triple click on this square, right click, and we'll make this a group. So we've got the layout basically for the start there. While we're got these guidelines, we'll draw that bar going across the middle. So put up some more guidelines. How wide's that? About 1 mil, isn't it? It's about 1 mil wide. So we come on the top one and we'll move it across as 0.5. Same again, down 0.5. Up. So now that I thought it was on the blue axis, looks like it, but it was on the green. So always make sure you're on the blue. Coming down, 0.5, and same again, 0.5 on the bottom, on the red, 0.5. So just setting up a little guide. So we get our pencil tool. We'll come top edge, down to that guide, along, up, just draw There we go. Just draw the bar in. Using the guides, draw it in freehand. Click on, reverse the face. Yep, good. What we can do now is extrude that. So we push pull tool and we'll push that back till it reaches the back wall and it's on the face there. So basic shape of that. We triple click that bar, right click, and we'll make that a group. And if we click the back and we click the bar, we do a right click and make a group. So then two are now in a group. Now what we can do is put the wood cladding on. So we use the piece we used, moves over to the right, click on the bottom edge. We've got a few guidelines here. Click on the bottom edge, and we go to OOB, and I have got a preset for this, and it's my wood cladding. And yeah, so we want it going across like this. Now, the settings I've got here, disregard the top. The planks are 1.3 mil high. The thickness is 0.4. The space, which is the space between, is 0.3. The H, that's another 0.3. So the gap between the joints, planks and between the joints is all 0.3. Joint depth, leave that at 0 because we don't need that. And the row offset, doesn't matter about that one. The main one is the length. Now we don't want all these joins in there. So the length is at 14.9, so it's 15 mil. If we highlight the whole lot and put 999 and enter, what it does, it falls it into being a great big long length and you don't get any joins. So we press OK. And then we'll click on and then we'll put this on our frame there. So what we do is we'll find an edge. So we've got whatever object we want. We'll click on, press the up arrow, so it's going up in the air. Find exactly where you want that spot to go. In the corner, up arrow, click on, and we're there. So, well, we've got that. So we've got the back frame and the sidebar. If you click on the wood, and it is a group, if we cut that, then we've got this group, so we double click this group to open it, and we'll do an edit, paste in place. So we now got all three groups inside one. Just a bit of housekeeping really. So if you right click on that and hide it, it's, you know, it's the whole lot in there. So jobs are good on that. Triple click on this, you don't need it. It's geometry left over from OOB, and delete. So we're good to go on that. We'll better save it, I suppose. Right, so we've got on that. We'll do the rivet detail or the brackets for there. Now, there's nothing set in stone here. Do what you like, but I will measure this going across. 5.2, so we'll give it 5 mil. And we'll go square. And we'll do start drawing us on the green axis, and we'll put 5, 5, enter. We'll right click, reverse that face. Same again with a pencil tool, up to the corner and down. Same again, up, corner, across. There we go. And delete this out. Delete that out and that out. Now this bracket will come over to, I think it's about a 0.2. We'll have a quick measure on there. 0.2. Come to this corner bracket, click on, and we'll extrude it 0.2, enter. Spacebar to tuck away from any tool you're using. Triple click, right click, make that a group. Now what we do is we'll put some rivets on there. So what we can do is we'll draw on the front face. Well, we can do it on the front face. Sometimes it's easier drawing it on a flat surface. I'll do it on the top and move it round. So we want some rivets. What we do is we'll draw a circle, and I do 0.4 for rivets, so we want 0.2 there to give us a 0.4 circle. We'll reverse the face on that, and then what we'll do is we'll click on and we'll find the centre of it. We're good there. So we need the pencil tool in the middle and on the blue axis, so we're going up, and I have them, I can't remember now, 0.2, yeah, 0.2 high. So we'll put in there 0.2, and that's the height of the rivet. Now you can have them completely domed, so yeah, we'll go for that. So what we need is to make sure, I'll tell you what we'll do is we'll put a line across and make sure it's going across the green axis, and then we know it's going to be parallel. And then we'll get the 2-point or 3-point? 2-point arc tool. Actually, no one will come up a little bit on that edge, because otherwise you're just going to have a dome rivet. I like a little bit of flat on the edge. So if we go up on the blue axis, 0.05, there we go. And then we'll draw a 2-point arc from the top to there. Want to keep it on the X coming up. That's about right. And when it fills in, we know that's dead level. Right click, reverse face. Now we need to click on the middle or on the edge. Don't think it matters. And then we use the follow me tool, and we'll click on, and then we've got our rivet. So if we triple click and move this over to the right, we can have a look underneath, make sure it's good to go. There we go, and that's the reason we've got a bit of geometry in the middle. So if we right click on this now, and I don't know if you've got this, fix it 101, click on, and it's filled it in. It's removed 11 split edges, and we'll go OK, and then we've got a nice rivet now. So we can triple click, and we'll right click, and we'll make this a component now. Now what a component is, if I put 100 of these on the layout, and at a later stage I want to change the shape of them, I only have to change the shape of one, and it will change the whole 100. So a component's good if you're going to use a lot of them, basically. So we call it rivet 01, and it just create. But if you looked on there, there was a, bearing in mind, if you go too mad with the geometry on here, on this one item, there's 948 inches on the one rivet because of all the faces and that. So bearing in mind, sometimes it doesn't pay to go too mad. So we click on, and we use the move tool, and if you hover over it, the cursor will change, and we'll change it round 45 degrees, 90 degrees rather, and then we're good to go. So we can put some guides on here and then start placing some rivets on. Guideline, we'll come across, we'll put it, if we come from the edge, it will naturally find the centre. Same again on the top, pull it down, find the centre. This is 1.5 mil thick, 0.75. This one might not. How wide's it? It's 0.68, 0.34. Oh, yeah. Yep, it's naturally found the centre of that. So we've got our guidelines. We want to put our rivets on. So we'll click on, what we do? Hopefully we'll be able to move it on the Z. Up Z, find the X there, and then press up again, and the rivet is there. We'll move it down on the Z axis so it lines up there. I'm not being too fussy where the rivets are going, but if we click on now and we do a control along the red axis, and it'll bring them along into there and divide 3, and there we go, and we've got 3 along there. Click on, do control on the Z axis this time, offset it a little bit, and we'll divide 4 there. We'll find the middle, we do a control, we'll go along the red, and then we want to come down on this line, control, down to about there, and then we'll divide that by 3. This is the bit where you can play and you can make your rivets whatever you want to do. So good to go with that section. What I'll do is I'll highlight all the rivets, I'll right click and I'll make that a group. Then I'll click on the back, I'll do a control, click on the back, right click and make that a group. We won't incorporate it in there because we're going to do the other 4 corners. But if I right click and hide that, yeah, job's a good one. So we want to put some more in the other corners, which will probably best or easier just to adapt this. I'm thinking, no, we won't. We can draw some squares in the bottoms because they're going to be 5 mil, aren't they? So start drawing a square in this one. 5, 5, enter. And we'll pull it out, 0.2. No, we won't. We'll double click and then we'll copy, move it, do a control along there, red axis, and then we'll do a control on the Z axis. Because these are different, I could do a copy and paste. Oh, that one will, but these won't because they're different sizes. So, yes, this one will. So we'll get this. We'll do a control on the Z axis. We'll bring it down. And then we'll rotate it. And that way. Yeah, 90 degrees. If we move it now, I'll click on the edge and we'll move it back. Now, yeah, right, we'll have to mirror that. Well, I might go back to my plan because we've got this extra bit to chop off as well. Nah, we'll delete that. Not a good move because the corners are different. All 4 corners are going to be slightly different, aren't they? So we do a control along the red axis. Little bit of faffing, but if we come down and then we can do, we'll cut that out. And same with this one. If they was symmetrical, I could probably get away with it. But because all four corners are going to be slightly different, there we go. It's one of them. And same with this one. Let's come along. Just draw around. Make sure this is separate. And we want to pull all these out by 0.2. So if we get our click on, we use our push pull and we'll pull it out 0.2, enter. We hover over the next one and we double click, it'll pull it out 0.2. Hover over here, double click, and they're all 0.2 now. Yep. So triple click, right click, make a group. Triple click, right click, make a group. Triple click, right click, make a group. So we need to add the rivets to the rest of these brackets. Now, an easy way I've done it, I've just taken the rivets along the top and added them basically to a card. We can call it a card, just going to make life a little bit easier. So if we click on this top one, and move tool into the middle, and then we'll locate it on there, and then we'll move it along the red, and there we go, it's sitting on the top there. Do it is click on, we do a control on the blue axis and we'll add that to the bottom, and then we do control along the red axis and we'll add that to the top. For some reason that seems a little bit shorter than the other ones, so I need to adjust the backing on there. Double click, get into the group, get into the face, push pull tool and pull it along to the end, so it's the same length as the rivet bracket. I've done the same thing with the uprights. Now this one, I'm sure if we move it, find the centre of the rivet, do a control, and if we press the up key and then find the centre of this rivet and press the up key, and there we go, and we should be good to do on there. And what we can do, we can get rid of these cards after, so we do the same what we did before. We'll click on this card of rivets, move tool, do a control and Z, and we might have to adjust it, yeah, place it on top of there. So we want to move this one, so we get the move tool on the top of the rivet, control, red axis, and we'll move it across and place it on top of the other rivet there. So there we go, our rivets there. We can tidy it up in a minute, and we can put this row of rivets along this bottom bar. We do the same thing, we'll click on a rivet, we'll do a control, keep some rivets up there, and this one wants to go on the bottom, and then we'll go green axis in along the red axis and across, and there we go. So we're good there. So what we'll go is we'll come in up in this group, we'll click on the the carriers of the rivets. Do the same. Click on open the group, click on, we'll click the carrier, the bit of paper we used, delete, and we'll go around and we'll do that. And that's probably a lot easier. And the same. And trying to move the rivets individually. And there we got rivets all the way across, all the way across. Now if we highlight all the rivets, we can cut them, open up our group, we'll do an edit, paste in place, and then we'll get a door with rivets all attached. Well, what we've got on here, we've got some hinges for the doors. So we'll come on the top and we'll draw some hinges for the doors. With the arc tool on the top, and it's about halfway through, so it'll be 0.5. So we've drawn a little half a bracket, half a hinge that will go halfway down, hopefully there. So if we pull it up, we'll right click, reverse the face, and we'll pull it up. What are we doing? So about 2 mil. Yep. Triple click, right click, and we'll make that a group. And then we can add the hinge, well, part of the hinge. We'll bring it down, we'll bring it across, and then we'll bring it down somewhere about there. Bearing in mind that the other half of the hinge will be on the other side. Yep. So we can put a little knobbly bit on top, double click, and we'll use that arc tool again on the blue axis, halfway through, around, click on, and we'll pull that up. So what we are, 0.2, 0.3. Yep. And then what you can do is on the face there, do a control, and we'll pull it down to the bottom. There. And then we can pull that. Oh, it's not pulled down. Pull it down to the bottom. Oh, I know why it's clearing it. Yeah, not a problem. Click on the bottom. If we just draw a line across here, it should fill that in. And then we can pull that down, 0.3. It's just making up a lot, pretend hinge really. So make sure it's in a group, and then we can do a move on a corner, do a control on a Z, and put it down there. You can measure all these, but that's the start of our hinge. So we're good for that. So that basically, that's the front side done. We click on these two hinges, cut that, open the group up, and we're doing edit paste in place. That's part of the group. Right, now we can do the end there. I'll tell you what I didn't put, I will put some rivets and handles on this edge. So put a guideline down the middle. And I think obviously the other things are bolt. Should be a rivet on here somewhere. These are, oh, there you go, rivet. These are components within the group, within the sketch. Now, come on, and because it's the wrong way, if you just hover in the move, you can, there we go, just move it around, move it across to the edge. Make sure it's on the edge, and then there we go. So if I move that now down the flue, little bit in, and I'll move that, do a control on the Z, and it should bring it down to the bottom. You can put guidelines in, and we'll do a divide 12. And there we've got 12 rivets on there. If we highlight them, we'll right click, we'll make that a group, and we'll cut it, open the group, and we'll do an edit paste in place. Yep, that's the rivets down the side there. What we next? Handle. We'll do a handle. So now I like to draw on a flat surface. So what we'll do is we'll do an arc. We'll click on the edge. On the green axis, and we'll come down, say 0.5. No, we'll do a 1. We'll draw it down 1 mil, and then we'll do an arc, and 1 mil enough. Let me have a look at the other one there. I'm not sure how thick that is. We'll flip that along the red. So this is another older model before I started doing it properly. So some of the access is not right. So we'll measure that. That's 0.5, half a mil thick, and yeah, 0.6. Right, yeah. So if we do 1 mil, we'll come to the reverse on it. Oh, we'll keep it at that, and we'll see what it comes out like. So there we go. What we do now is click away, right click. Actually, we don't need to reverse the face on this. Thank you. We can bring it up. We do a control, go up, and then we'll rotate it. We're moving. Right. Back on there. And if we draw a line down to there, what we need to do is get rid of the excess geometry, which is that line, that line. So we've got a basic shape of our handle. If we triple click and we go up to super weld, and we weld that line together, so it's one continuous line now. Actually, I left a bit of geometry on the edge there. So we'll do a Control Z and delete. There's a bit of geometry on the edge there. Do it again, triple click and super weld. It should be welded together. Now if we move it, I'm on the red axis, so it's just coming over there. the edge there. What we can do is draw a circle now. And we'll do a Control Z there actually. And we'll draw a circle on this edge. 0.5. 0.5? That looks a bit big, doesn't it? Oh, it's, yeah, sorry, yeah. 0.2. And there we go. We'll try and see if that works. Click on the line, follow me tool, and we'll click on that. And see what the handles come out like. So triple click, right click, reverse faces, and right click, we'll make that a group. So now if we bring it along, rotate it, and then bring it along the red. Right, we'll have a look, see what it is. Now it hasn't. Oh, come on, don't zoom. It hasn't joined the ends up. So we right click and we fix 101 and it'll do, there we go, sort it out for us. And we can get rid of all that old geometry there. We'll delete that. And the circles, that's not quite right there. I haven't got it quite square, but there we go. So there's a handle. I click on, press up. Now it looks a bit small to me. Or is it not? You can always scale it. So if I click on, and then we do on the edge, do a Control. There we go. A little bit bigger. So these, I'm not going off any dimensions. It's just showing you the technique. So if we come down, well, I'll put 2 on there. And then we'll go Control down. And I don't even know what they're for. That was just, it looked all right when I was doing it. So we click on, Control, click on, right click, make a group, cut it, double open the door group, or the corner group, edit, and paste in place. And that's a corner. So, right, roughly the same as that. We want this next bit to go along. It's 12.5 mil by 1.8 for some reason. But same again. Actually, this is going to get in the way now. So if we click on this and just move it along the green. What did I say it was long? 12.5 mil. So we've got a few guidelines we don't need, so we do an edit, delete guides, draw a square on the floor. So we want it at 12.5, 2. Yep, that'll do. Right click, reverse face, and then we'll pull it up. Same as that. Now the other one was, there was no frame along that edge, but it was a frame along the bottom. So it was part of the buffer beam, I think. So if I draw a line up that there, go along the green axis to there, that'll say, that'll be solid. We'll move that closer, and I can get a better idea then. Yeah, so all we've got really on that is them bars going up, isn't it? So I'll click on this edge and I'll push it back the same as the other one as 0.8. I'll click on, I'll copy it, and I'll triple click this wall, right click and make that a group. I'll do an edit, paste in place, and I'll click on the front edge and the bottom edge, OOB, and I'll put some planks on it. And the length is the same again, so we'll just change that to 999. Okay. We'll click on this group and do a control and click on the back, right click, we'll make that a group now. And if I hide it, we're left with that excess geometry we always get after the ROB. Highlight, delete, and then we'll do edit, unhide for last. So it's the back wall there. Now we've got to set up, comes to the middle, some guides for going across there. Should be fun. Got to find, if I hide that, hide, it's otherwise I'm not working on the flat, am I? So some guides in, I don't know, on the blue, where we're going, one, and the bottom, one, and yeah, we'll go 0.4, we'll go 1. I have no idea what I'm doing now. And hopefully we've got one in the middle. Is that the middle of the whole edge though? So how tall's that? That's 25. Bring it down. So that's in the middle of, oh yeah, that is in the middle of that. Yep, so we're good in the middle of that. I think we'll move 0.5 and a 0.5. We'll just draw in. How long? I keep doing 0.1s because I'm working in my old system. We'll come along, 1, and then we'll go back up. And to there. Yeah, good enough. We can make it a little bit snazzy. We'll click on the face and we'll pull it up halfway there, so it'd be 0.4. Actually make it 0.5. And then what we can do is click on this edge, click on this edge, and if we offset, no, it won't do it. Too many edges. We'll call it quits on that. We'll pull it up. There. We'll triple click, right click, make it a group, and then we'll scale it. And what we'll do is we'll copy that and we'll scale it and push it through at 0.1. -1, sorry, -1, and that will scale it back to the other edge. And we'll do an edit, paste in place, and that's good enough. So if we open the group and we do edit, unhide, then we've got our bars, and yep, click on the bars, do a control click on, right click, we'll make them a group, we'll open the group up, and we'll do an edit, paste in place. So now, so really very similar to the other one. There's some extra rivets on there you can add. But if I move that over, we'll edit, delete guides. We're done with the guides for now. We'll click on and we'll go along the red, green axis out of the way. So what I need to do on this one is click on the back and the front, right click, we'll make that a group, we'll copy it, I'll scale it, and I'll click on, and I'll do a -1. And then I'll do an edit, paste in place, we'll click on, right click, and we'll make that a group. Now, door width, so we call it 10mm door. Yeah. So if we do, let's put a guide on there of along there of 10. And then we'll copy, no we don't, we'll move it, we'll do right, we'll click, we'll do a control along the red, and then we'll right click and we'll flip it back along the red. And then we'll just move it to that guideline along the red. That should be 20mm, 10mm a door, shouldn't it? So if we click on, we do right, wrong, 10. There we go. So what basically that's the two ends and ready for the doors.